I like to put out positive stories and to educate, edify, and build up responsible citizens who are exercising their right to carry a firearm. To that end, I've been fortunate to work on a series of seminars geared to empower citizens who do lawfully and responsibly carry guns, to prepare them for what happens in the aftermath. We probably have an idea of what we saw in some Lifetime movie on cable TV, but you know, let's flesh it out and add some details and make it relevant and make it timely and give you something that you can use to prepare yourself if in your worst nightmare you're ever forced to defend yourself, defend your family, or defend your home. Words of wisdom would you have for all of us who agree with you that it's a good thing to have a firearm, good thing to have a CPL? What words of wisdom are you willing to share?
Well, just be aware of your surroundings. That was my mistake. I was comfortable and almost cost me my arm, you know, but I'm glad that everything went the way it did, because I still could have ended up dead.
Yes, I would say it's definitely good to carry. It's good to have a mindset of being aware of your surroundings and your personal protection, because without your mindset, it doesn't matter what you carry, what you know. If they catch you off guard, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Marcus?
When you get your firearm, you got to live a totally different lifestyle. You're no longer the same person. Like, a lot of people, they get it. Like, basically what I'm saying is you can't go to the same places you used to go. So if you're used to going out late, drinking, partying, you know, living in that lifestyle still, I wouldn't even get a firearm, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up having a firearm on you and you're going to be intoxicated and something's going to happen and you can get in trouble for that. Or you're going to be out somewhere in public where you might end up at night getting robbed or whatever it may be. But you got to change. I mean, scenery's got to change all the way around. People you be around. People didn't even know I carried. Like, a lot of people when it came out, I lost a lot of friends who I guess were kind of, I won't call them friends, but people who knew me, associates, they were anti-gun. A lot of people kind of stayed away from me, because once the people find out you carry a gun, I guess they get intimidated. They kind of feel like you just, I don't know, it's kind of, or they just feel like you just, oh man, this guy somebody, he got a gun, I don't trust him. Well, if he shoots me, I don't know what they intimidate. I don't know what it is. But you got to change. I would tell everybody, change your entire routine when you get a gun. You should be more vigilant when you get a gun. You're the most frustrating.
One thing that I want to share is that when I first got my concealed pistol license, we were probably 11, 12 years ago, you know, I had these rose-colored glasses, you know, I fashioned myself out to be a good guy, you know, worked, lived in a nice neighborhood, paid taxes, went to church. And if, for whatever reason, if I needed to use my gun, that the police would immediately show up to the scene, they would take my side, correctly identify me as the good guy, would not arrest me, I wouldn't come close to facing any legal repercussions, wouldn't be plastered all over the media, given a flashy nickname, you know, being charged, having to go to trial, waiting for a verdict. What I know now, just not necessarily all experientially, but just anecdotally from all the people that I've met over the years and just hearing their stories and talking and sharing with them, there is no way in the world I could do any type of training when any people coming to me for lessons or classes of any sort. I would be remiss if I did not at least expose them to some options that are available to them, that are available in your gravest hour and a moment that you thought would never happen and probably would be over in the blink of a few eye bats. So with that in mind, I want to bring up Terry Johnson and talk a little bit about firearm legal protection, and then we'll go to a few other questions, because I know I want to get Terry up here. And yes, I'm a member of Firearm Legal Protection, and I don't see myself ever walking out of the house without a gun, a CPL, and a legal plan. So give Terry a hand.
How are you, sir?
Okay, listen, Marcus brought up a very good point. You have 3 different scenarios here where people who had to defend themselves with lethal force, and you saw 3 different outcomes, okay? You've got, I'm gonna kind of dwell on Marcus for a little bit if that's okay. Marcus went through the system, a costly system, right? Andre didn't have to go through the system because why? They saw Andre as a victim, right? Even though Marcus was a victim. And I can't remember your name. Elena, thank you. Elena obviously was a victim. Why? Because her arm was there. But I want you to think about this. When everything goes on, what is it that you need more than anything else? You need some sense of security, correct? If you use your firearm to defend yourself, when the police show up, they're not gonna know who's the victim, they're not gonna know who's who, and the worst thing you can actually do is what? Talk. Why is that? Contradict yourself. I think Andre said there were seven bullets that went off, or were there 4? And if you can't account for each one of those, they're gonna say, well, what are you doing, what's going on, right? Let me tell you who we are, how we work. It's very, very simple. Again, Firearms Legal Protection, we provide uncapped attorney's fees if in fact you use your firearm for self-defense. Everybody understand that? Now, what does that mean? Uncapped attorney's fees. We pay for your attorney. Period. It's not a reimbursement program. You don't have to come out of your pocket and say, here, let me give you $500 for this. Here, let me give you $1,000 for this. We pay for that up front. What else do we do? We provide you bail bond up to $250,000. How much did you have to pay for bond?
50,000 was 10%.
So you had to come up with $5,000. Right. $50,000. We cover that up to $250,000. What else do? We get attorneys to you right away. You've got in this area 5. Okay? We also have a plan that if you leave the state of Michigan, we cover you throughout the country. Over 1,200 attorneys. Criminally and civilly. What does that mean civilly? Let me give you an example. If Joe were to come at me and attack me right now.
You would die.
I'm quick. I'm really, really quick. Joe were to come at me right now, okay? And I were to shoot Joe twice, but take 3 shots, and one were to hit, what's your name?
Jamie.
And one were to hit Jamie. Now, I'm covered against Joe civilly, right? Joe can't come back and sue me. Jamie's an innocent bystander. Would you sue me, Jamie? Oh, yeah. Jamie would sue me. That's your wife, isn't it? Yes. Okay, all right. So, what else do we need to talk about as it relates to us? We have a benefit for lost wages. We have a benefit for, let's see, lost wages. Am I missing one, Linda, in there? Bond, we talked about bond up to $250,000. Experts, thank you. So, everything basically that Marcus went through, we would cover. He wouldn't have to come out of his pocket. I can't tell you how many times I've represented someone, in 1 second, can't tell you how many times I've represented someone and they've come up and said, and I'm like, I need an expert. And they're like, okay, go get him. I'm like, no, doesn't work that way. And I send them right to the expert, so I don't want them to think I'm getting like a piece off the top or anything. And they're like, this guy's expensive. I'm like, yeah, but do you want to get out? And I find that the people with money are the ones that get out. Okay? We've got 3 different plans. I'll go over them very, very quickly for you. We've got one that's the basic individual that covers you for uncapped attorney's fees in your home state here of Michigan. Uncapped civil, uncapped criminal. Okay? Second one is everything I just talked about. It's the premium individual. It's $18.95 a month. You buy it annually, you save a little bit there. But that's everything I just talked about. The third one is the family plan that covers you, your spouse, and any minor child in your home. Okay, so if you've got a 14-year-old daughter, she has to use lethal force. If someone breaks in the home, guess what? We cover her as well, okay? Now, a couple of other things real quick I want you to keep in mind. If you become a member, you have a card. Oh, yeah, I got that. Thank you. There's a card. On the back of that card, flip her over. There's an 800 number. You call that 800 number. What happens when you call that 800 number?
You get a ring.
I got it now.
No, you get a attorney, and the attorney comes to you right away.
Now, do you get to personally choose that attorney, or do they just call one?
Well, if you can say, I want this person, that's who we're gonna send if they're on our list.
I'm calling Terry.
Me too. He calls me all kind of names.
No, but the program does have some really great lawyers that if you guys are really in the gun community.
Jim McCoskey.
Names that you've heard before.
Jim McCoskey.
It's expensive.
But, you know, we helped you on that,
Is
right?
he good? Is he good? Does he know his stuff?
No, can I talk, is it okay to mention?
Yes.
Thank you. Matt signed up with us about 5-6 weeks ago.
Yes.
Okay. Matt signed up, and one of the things Matt said was, never gonna need this. Something along those lines, correct? Matt had an incident, and I just asked his permission, he told me it was okay to talk about it. Matt had an incident up in, way up north, Sheboygan, right?
Yep.
Matt was minding his business, open carrying. Got into it with an officer, and guess what? Officer arrested him, et cetera, et cetera.
DNR officer.
DNR officer who doesn't know the law. And let me help you. Not too many police officers know the law.
Amen. Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you a little side story on that, and I'll be done shortly. I had a gentleman who went to the Redford Police. He was 19. He purchased a gun from someone, okay? He purchased a gun. He went to the Redford Police. He said, is this how I open carry? They said, yes. So he thought he was open carrying. He was downtown Detroit at one of the festivals, and Dum Dum walks up to the cop and says, so am I open carrying, right? And the officer said, no, get in. But the Redford officer, I'm like, well, what's his name? I don't know. What? Yeah. Don't take legal advice from police officers. But anyway, back to Matt's story. Matt got into a situation up there. We got a phone call. Now, it was not a situation where Matt was using self-defense, but as a member, we did take care of a portion of Matt's legal fees. I know Matt, I know what Matt was doing, you know, I authorized us to do, you know, what we could do to help him out. But we're not just here for money, we're here to help, okay? As I was mentioning, as a part of our relationship with Rick, we're offering a price lock today. The prices will be going up. Those of you who have this program now, you haven't seen a price increase. We just had one a few months ago. We're about to have another one. Why? Because there was something that this gentleman and this gentleman and this lady did not say. Counseling. We're going to be adding counseling services as well.
That's big.
And just listening to the stories that you three have told, you know, you think they're a little messed up in the head, just a little as a result of that? Probably so. So we're going to start to provide counseling services. And we're going to start to also provide other uses of lethal force, as long as they're legal. So if you have a knife, if you have somebody breaks in your house and you got to beat them with a baseball bat, we're going to cover you. Okay, no physical, no, hands are not counted. No. And here's the other great part. All of you are going to get very shortly a mobile app that is unlike any other mobile app. It's not only going to tell you where you can go, but you're going to get discounts on some of the ranges around you. So that's coming as well. And guess what comes with that? Price increases. But those who are already members are going to stay at the same price. So I highly encourage you, there are applications in front of you, highly encourage you to sign up today for many, many reasons. Because here's the thing, you carry a gun and you think the odds of you not using it are high, you're wrong. So I'll take any questions at this point. Jamie, who's going to sue me?
But I would my question is, okay, so I have a 20-year-old son.
Too old. It's got to be 18 or younger.
Okay,
Sorry.
not finished with my question yet.
Okay.
So
She told me.
20-year-old son is in the
About to sue
house.
me.
My mother's in the house and my nephew. My nephew's 24. Okay, and someone's coming into the home. They are wearing our firearms and they defend our home. how do we make sure that they're covered?
By buying them their own policy.
Buy them their own policy,
They
even if
have to
they're
have
not
their own
a CPO.
And that's a great point. Even if you do not have to be a CPO holder in order to qualify for this.
That's good.
The only qualifications are if you're during self-defense, you have to legally have access to a firearm. In other words, you can't be a convicted felon. And B, you're not committing a crime. So don't call me at 3 in the morning, I just robbed 7-Eleven.
Right.
We have an additional gentleman who approached me. He's in the classroom today, and he wanted to give some testimony on like the flip side, some of the things that goes on in the minds of people who are out there committing some of these acts that we're hoping to prevent and defend ourselves against. So let's give a hand to Sincere, who wants to share a few things.
I just wanted to let y'all know about me being a gentleman who's been a part of the streets for a long time, that we all are out. It's very important to pay attention to a person's body language, no matter where y'all go. They don't give you direct eye contact, they fidgeting, reaching, stay away from you, because 9 times out of 10 something's gonna happen. They always looking around, doing like this, walking back and forth. Pay attention, very close attention to those people. So therefore, situations like y'all ain't gonna happen. I always try to be on my baby about it, be aware at all times. Church, grocery stores, gas stations, schools.
I don't think I've ever seen a program, a seminar where someone has done this before. You know, I had some feedback from the last seminar I did, and they say, hey, Rick, try it. So, you know, I'm game. I tried it and was able to pull it off. And again, I'm indebted to you 3 for coming. I appreciate all of you for coming out to this event, because it told me that it was a worthwhile event to put on. And you guys need to see Terry. Terry will be in the back. I don't think Terry has to run out too soon. But I want to thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.